1,999 clues have come and gone, but 26 new ones are headed your way as part of this 75th episode of Disney 100 Jeopardy! Welcome in. As always, I am your host, Brian Perry, and thank you so much for joining me. Can you believe it? 75 episodes? That's a heck of a lot of episodes. That means we've played over, like I said, over 1,900 clues, and yes, over 400 different Disney categories. That is insane. And in just a little bit, when I make another special announcement, I'm going to tell you a new way that you'll be able to play old categories in a GIF just like that. But before we get there, here come the rules on your screen. They're the same rules as always. If you want to be a cheater in this special 75th, go right ahead. I won't tell anyone. Be my guest. In last week's episode 74, which came out on 7/4. By the way, I didn't do that on purpose. I saw some of the comments and I was like, oh, I should just act like I did that. It came out on July 4th. The final Jeopardy category was Patriotic Attractions. That carries over to this episode 75, where I'll quiz you all about patriotic rides and shows that can be seen within a Disney park. That plus 4 of the brand new categories are in the spotlight in this episode 75. So let's check them out and see what they are. Since Patriotic Attractions is your theme park category of the week, that moves over to column 4. So the first category you'll be playing is Who's Asking? Shout out to Jesse, who came up with this suggestion. It's basically the quote category, except I'll read you a question that was asked in a Disney movie by a Disney character. You'll have to identify who that character was. The second category we'll be playing arcades. I've done video games in the past, but this is all about arcades within the Walt Disney Company, either a movie or in real life. The third category, owls. Not Owl House. That'll come. Patience, my friends. This is just owls. I'm going to show you a picture of an owl, and you'll have to tell me what movie that owl is from. The fourth category we've already gone over. It is Patriotic Attractions. That, of course, is your theme park category of the week. And the fifth and final category is the 2020s. I'll tell you what, the Walt Disney Company's films have been up and down in the 2020s. A lot of good ones, a lot of not so good ones. This is all about movies that have come out since the turn of the decade. All right, and with that, you know what time it is. It is time for the cupcake round, the easiest round of the game. Each of these clues are worth just 200 points each. Hopefully you go 5 for 5 and bank 1,000 points under your belt. We kick this game off with a little Who's Asking for 2. Well, this is a first. It is the Daily Double, and it kicks off episode 75. That's what happens when you've played 1,999 clues and have to start the next game with your 2,000th clue in Disney 100 Jeopardy history. So you can wager up to 1,000 points on this first clue of the game, which, might I say, is pretty easy. All right, let's check out the clue. See if you get it. Who said this? Where is my super suit? The correct answer, of course, is Frozone.
Honey!
What?
Where's my super suit?
What?
Where is my super suit?
Let's move on. No more daily doubles. Here comes clue number 2001. It belongs to arcades, and it's worth 2. Home to the Claw and a number of different arcade games in Toy Story. What is Pizza Planet? Time to take a look at your first owl of the game. You have to identify what he's from.
Well, I say now, someone has... Who? Did you do that?
Time to get up and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Just kidding, you don't actually have to do that, but it is time for Patriotic Attractions for 200. Morgan Freeman provided narration for this attraction from 2009 to 2017. Correct answer is the Hall of Presidents. That's right, Morgan Freeman narrated the famous show for pretty much the entire Obama administration. There you can see former President Obama recording his lines for the Hall. He was the last president to record lines specifically for the show. We'll get into a few more presidential animatronics in a little bit, but here comes your final cupcake clue of the game. It belongs to the 2020s. 2022's Obi-Wan Kenobi's Star Wars series saw Hayden Christensen return to play this character. He played Darth Vader. I guess you could say Anakin Skywalker as well. But yes, that was a big deal in Star Wars land, the return of Hayden Christensen.
My first day on set was a really special day. I was Anakin from Episode 3 era. It was a very emotional thing. Well, not just reuniting as these characters, but also as friends. It was like going back in time. It was so cool.
Okay, everyone, that does it for the cupcakes. And I told you last week we had big news on the Disney 100 Jeopardy front, and here it is. DisneyJeopardy.com is live and lets you find your favorite categories like never before. Simply search and click any category to go right to the game it was a part of. I'm super excited about this. It took me a while to work on. I'm also thrilled to announce that for the first time in show history, we are launching Club DJ. Club Disney Jeopardy will be accessible by clicking the join button below this video, getting you closer to the games than ever before. Every game from here on out will have an insider category of the week, which will be voted on by members who have joined the club right here on YouTube's community page. On top of that, insiders will also get exclusive badges next to their comments that will progress over time. You've got a 200-point badge, then a 400, 600, and 800. Finally, the 1,000-point badge, once it is acquired, will give you the opportunity to play a live version online of Disney 100 Jeopardy. There's also emojis that were created specifically for insiders, and finally, all members will have their usernames appear at the end of Disney 100 Jeopardy episodes. Also, our t-shirts and prize giveaways will be shifting to our members club, so keep your eyes open for that. Check out DisneyJeopardy.com or click the join button below this video to learn more about Club DJ. But for now, it's time to get back to the game. It is the 400-point round, and it begins with Who's Asking? My daughter, Odd. Where would you get an idea like that? Who is Maurice from Beauty and the Beast?
Papa, do you think I'm odd?
My daughter?
Odd? Where would you get an idea like that?
Here comes your second clue from the arcades category. Litwax Arcade in Wreck-It Ralph has this racing game that features Vanellope von Schweetz. Now, if you said Sugar Rush, it's up to you if you want to give yourself the points, but the correct answer is Sugar Rush Speedway.
Can you handle the rush? All new for 1997. Sugar Rush Speedway. Play the sweet new game only at Litwax Arcade on Route 83.
It's time to check out your second owl of the game. Where are they from? What is Sleeping Beauty? What say you we check out another patriotic attraction? Abraham Lincoln was the first human audio animatronic constructed by the Walt Disney Company and made his debut as part of this event before moving to Disneyland. Great moments with Mr. Lincoln can still be experienced over in Anaheim, but the first time you can lay your eyes on the robotic version of our 16th president was in 1964 at the New York World's Fair.
Ever since I was a small boy in Illinois, I've had a great personal admiration for Abraham Lincoln. So when we decided to recreate some of the great moments in Mr. Lincoln's life for the World's Fair, we directed all our energies to that task.
And here comes your second clue from the 2020s. Before the likes of Loki, Hawkeye, and Miss Marvel, this 2021 MCU show was the first one produced specifically for Disney+. This is not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Luke Cage. No, this was made specifically for Disney+. In 2021, it was the first MCU-sanctioned show made for the streaming service. And that show was WandaVision.
We are an unusual couple, you know.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
Speaking of WandaVision, we finally have the series spin-off coming out later this year. We saw a trailer for it. Agatha All Along, starring Kathryn Hahn as Agatha Harkness. I'll check it out. I liked WandaVision. Liked the first 3 or 4 MCU Disney Plus shows. Liked Moon Knight. Thought that was underrated. I've kind of fallen off, if I'm being completely honest. 10 clues down, we move on now to the 600-point round. This is getting a little tougher. You're gonna have to tell me who asked this question. What do you want me to do? Dress and drag and do the hula? That question was asked by Timon in The Lion King.
You guys have to create a diversion. What do you want me to do? Dress and drag and do the hula? Wow! If you're hungry for a hunk of fat and juicy meat, eat my buddy Pumper here because he has a treat.
Here comes your third arcade clue. Operating from 1995 to 2015, an arcade served as the exit to this Magic Kingdom attraction. Ah yes, the olden days of taking the moving walkway directly from Space Mountain to this very arcade. Yeah, the structure is still there. Don't know what happened to all the games though. I wish Magic Kingdom still did have an arcade, though I guess if you're going to Walt Disney World or Disney World Park, you shouldn't be spending more money in an arcade, but it's kind of weird that Disney doesn't really have one anymore. Anyway, here comes your third owl of the game. You'll have to tell me where they're from. That guy goes by Friend Owl. I don't remember if they call him Friend Owl in the movie, but apparently that's what his name is when I looked it up. He is from Bambi.
They're Twitter-pated.
Twitter-pated?
Yes. Nearly everybody gets Twitter-pated in the springtime.
We have passed the halfway point of the game. Here comes clue number 14, if you're keeping track at home. Take a spin on the Carousel of Progress, where you'll see this character sitting in a bathtub with a patriotic top hat on. Who is Uncle Orville?
Uncle Orville's taken over the coolest spot in the house, of course, and he's rigged up a real clever contraption. He calls it air cooling. Too bad he's not reading the Help Wanted ads.
No privacy at all around this place.
One clue left in the 600s. It belongs to 2020. Released in 2021 and 2023, these two live-action films were the only ones this decade named after and based on Disney park attractions. I guess I should specify made by Disney. Maybe some kid made a home movie called Space Mountain earlier this year. But no, these two films, these two big blockbusters, which I guess weren't really blockbusters, were Jungle Cruise in 21 and Haunted Mansion in 23. 15 clues down, 11 remain as we approach the 800 pointers. Here comes, who's asking? Why do we even have that lever? Who is Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove?
Pull the lever, Crunk. Wrong lever! Why do we even have that lever?
Here comes another arcade clue. This one's worth 8. Head to Main Street, USA at Disneyland to speak with Esmeralda, but not the Esmeralda you're probably thinking of. No, this is Esmeralda, the fortune-telling animatronic, who is located at the front of this establishment. What is the Penny Arcade? Here comes your fourth owl of the game. Tell me where he's from. That is Archimedes, and he is from The Sword in the Stone.
A skinny kid like that would make a cracking good chimney sweep.
An 800-point Patriotic Attraction clue is coming at you. At the end of the American Adventure Show at Epcot, two animatronics modeled after these two men stand atop the torch of the Statue of Liberty. Who are Ben Franklin and Mark Twain?
Well, Mr. Twain, what do you think of our America now?
I think the founding fathers never dreamed of an America like this.
One last clue before the 1,000-point round. Let's check it out from the 2020s category. This was the first Disney feature animation film to come out this decade. Now, whether or not you debate the decade started in 2020, or some people say started in 2021, it doesn't matter because Disney feature animation didn't have a movie in 2020. No, their first movie of this decade came out in 2021, and it was Raya and the Last Dragon.
Oh, mighty Sisu!
Who said that?
We really need your help.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not like the best dragon.
Cue the MJ90s music because 20 clues are down and 6 remain, including Final Jeopardy. But before we get there, you know what time it is. It is time for the most overly dramatic soundtrack infused, unnecessarily spotlighted part of the game, the 1,000-point round. Hit it. Okay, stand up, stretch it out. This is where the magic happens. The 1,000-point round begins with Who's Asking. Don't you get it? You see the hat. I'm Mrs. Nesbit. That would be a slightly intoxicated sounding Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story.
I think you've had enough tea for today. Let's get you out of here, Buzz.
Don't you get it? You see the hat? I am Mrs. Nesbit.
Snap out of it, Buzz!
Here comes your final clue from the arcades category. While 2010's Tron Legacy features blue and orange light cycles within the Tron video game, the original 1982 Tron film features light cycles in these colors as well. So it was mainly blue and orange in the famous light cycle scene in 2010, but if you go way back to 82, you also had red and yellow. Here comes your final owl worth 1,000. Or should I say owls? Where are these guys from? What is Pocahontas?
Don't be frightened, young man. My bark is worse than my bite.
2 clues left on the board before Final Jeopardy. The first of the 2 belongs to Patriotic Attractions. After its closing in 1988, this show at Disneyland had many of its animatronics relocated to the new Splash Mountain attraction. And now, Splash Mountain is dead here in the United States, and with it, likely dead also, are the animatronics from America Sings. Okay, 1 clue left on the board belongs to the 2020s. Let's check it out. The 3 Pixar films released between Onward and Lightyear that debuted on Disney Plus rather than theaters. Well, first up in 2020, you had Soul releasing around Christmas, or maybe it was on Christmas. That was followed by Luca and then Turning Red. 25 clues are down and 1 remains, and it just so happens to be the one clue of the game, this episode 75, that will ultimately determine how proud of yourself you will be for the next 7 days. So without further delay, let's check out what category you're going to be quizzed on. Pixar over-under bingo. All right, you might remember I did an over-under category a few months back where you had a 50-50 chance of getting every single answer correct, whether or not you knew anything about the clue, because the answers were either over or under the number that I was giving you. Now I'm making it a little tougher because I'm including bingo, as you can tell. So I'll give you a number. You'll have to tell me if the correct answer is over that number, under that number, or bingo, it is that number. It's all about Pixar though. So how confident are you on your Pixar knowledge? Make your wagers. And time is up. Let's check out the final clue in this episode 75. 26, the number of feature-length Pixar films. Good luck. And time is up. 26. Does that sound right? Has Pixar made exactly 26 feature-length films? They have not. The correct answer is over, because Pixar has made 28 movies, most recently Inside Out 2. And that does it for this episode 75 of Disney 100 Jeopardy. Once again, like mentioned before, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you want to have the ability to vote on categories in the future, once again, click the join button below to join Club Disney Jeopardy and become an insider. You'll get those aforementioned badges, plus the opportunity to fast track the categories of your choice into future games. If you are becoming an insider today, thank you so much. Look out on the community page of YouTube to vote in next week's poll to determine one of the 5 categories you'll be playing. Well, 4 new categories, because Pixar Over Under Bingo is also carried over. Also, check out DisneyJeopardy.com. Let me know what you think. It took me a little while to make, but I think you'll like the ability to go to the category page and just click any category you want and play that game. For now, though, you know the deal. If you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe. Click that bell icon. Hello, bell. That wasn't that good. You know what? I'm gonna do it again. Hello, bell. Still not that great. Hello, bell. That was like the exact. You know what? 3 strikes, I'm out. This way you're notified every time we come out with brand new content. I've been your host, Brian Perry. I will see you next week for episode 76 of Disney 100 Jeopardy. Until then.
Bye-bye.